cheat sheet that you posted, and like I don't understand like the squeeze theorem when we talk about in class. So I don't understand like what you wrote here, like, how you wrote it there.
Okay. Well, I don't have time. I'm gonna go over Graybook right now. You can ask me after too.
Okay.
All right. So a lot of questions that on the things I'm gonna tell you like which question are more important because I think it's very important for you to know is certain question that more likely to show up rather than so let's go to Graybook 3 and which question that's so for me, Graybook, you can go back. Um, like you are for sure it's gonna get some easy question like one. So I will say this. Sorry. My bad. Let's say quick time. Okay, so you are for sure gonna get some type of question like this. So I will say this is probably an A tier. It's not S tier, but just one question, like one question that you are gonna see, right? So this is a tier list. This is A tier, right? So A. I'm just say A. It's not answer A. El Hopto rule. I will say this is also an A tier because that's El Hopto rule. Wait, this is an A, B, or B, C. Oh, this is a B, C. So, let me go back. Uh, wait, which one is A, B? Okay, so okay, sorry about it. Um, and okay, so I'm gonna remind you, anything that deal with absolute value, do it always geometrically. Always geometrically. If you do it geometrically, problem is gonna be done a lot faster. So this question and one other question. So this one, I will do it geometrically and to finish your problem. This type of problem you might see once or twice, not as often anymore. Personally, I don't like this problem because I usually have a little bit hard time to answer those. But you should know what you're supposed to. Related rate, you're gonna see one question, multiple choice. Yeah, it's gonna be something like this. Ladder, you're gonna see Pythagorean identities, like one car traveling this way, one car traveling that way. You're gonna see that ladder or sphere or cube, right? So those are very, very common. Particle travel, this is fun. This is like I would say A tier or B tier. Um, fundamental theorem calculus. This is S tier. Let me count up how many questions on fundamental theorem of calculus. Okay, so this is the S tier. Why? Because 1 to 4 f prime of x is equal to f of 4 minus f of 1. And you just have to be able to do that. You can solve the problem. Pretty easy. This is S tier. Fundamental theorem of calculus account for 15 points, roughly. We're going to count out how many S tier questions that's related to fundamental theorem calculus. Okay? Slow field, yes, you're going to get slow field. You're going to have to read the graph. U substitution, A tier. Always you're going to have some U substitution questions, and with the natural log especially. You got to be able to simplify. You got to be able to do things in the U world, not in the X. Don't do it in everything in X. Do it in everything in U. That means you have to change the boundary. 3 and 1. Do you do that on your thing? Okay. Natural log. Always split them before you take a derivative. Natural log of 1 minus natural log of x squared minus 1. And then take a derivative of natural log of 1. That's going to be 0. And all you got to do is a negative natural log of x squared minus 1 and take a derivative of that, which is negative. It was b, right? The answer is b, right? Yes? Right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, just gonna flip the bottom. This one is weird. Okay, this is a great question. They love this question. It's A tier question. They just give you a bunch of table, ask you to figure out. Well, the slope is -3. The only one is -3 from 5. You see here is go down 4. You see here go down 4. You see it go down to -1. This is not it. This is going down to -1. This is not it. This is going down to -2. This is not it. The only thing is this two. One is a linear because 8, 4, and 0 is linear. This one, if you do 8, 6, and 2 is concave down. Visually, you can see it. You have to understand those logic. 12. Yesterday, somebody asked me if you can set original equation. Omar asked me that. And I think about it. It's two conditions when they're tangent to each other. If they're tangent to each other, that means first condition, they have to equal each other. In this case, your idea would work. At the same condition, the slope had to equal each other if they tangent each other. Now, your thing would work on any situation, but they have to equal each other. But sometimes equal each other is not enough. They have to set the derivative equal each other. So you have to know there's two conditions happen. Even though one condition should be able to solve the problem. So you are not, I was wrong yesterday. I told you says, no, you should not do it that way. At this case, it would work. At this case, it would work. It would work. However, I prefer you know how to take a derivative with the k. Okay, so I prefer that. Right Riemann sum, left Riemann sum, trapezoid rule. You need to know how to do all three. And this is not an equal intervals. This is not equal interval. Now, what this question on the new SAT will do is they will including initial conditions. Usually it's like the water flowing at the rate of this and this equal to this table. And they say, well, I want to find out amount of water they have at end of 12 minutes. That's what they probably says initially there's 20 gallons in there. You had to add those 20 gallons. Am I confusing you guys? Initial conditions. Okay, this question does not have initial condition, but you got to be able to also including initial conditions on the things. You got to make sure they have no initial condition or they have initial condition. If they have initial condition, you might choose to add them because it depends on the questions asking. Okay, so this is 3. This one's kind of hard, but draw out -2. They only have 4 choices, and they all wait, hold on a second. They are vertical asymptote, and it has to be positive, so it has to be this way, and then you have to be able to read the limit x approach to 2 and -2. There's only one right choice. I forgot which choice is it. B. 2 from the positive is not positive infinity.
I think the only answer is C.
C is correct. C is 3 only, so which is 2 from the left side is positive. This is correct. This 2 from the positive side is negative infinity. 2 does not exist. You have to understand each reason also. You cannot just pick the right choice. You have to understand 1 and 2 are wrong, but what is the correct thing to read? Is that okay? You cannot just understand, oh yeah, I got a C is the answer. But you have to understand what this 1 is. It does not exist because it doesn't reach the same number. You have to be able to do 2 is negative infinity. Okay. The following statement contain locations from which is statement correct statement. You have to knowing what's the correct statement in here. I don't know what's the right one. It's taking me too long to read through this, but yeah, I don't have time to read through this. It's gonna take me 2 minutes to read through this. So I'm gonna skip it and come back to this. Now, remember I told you S tier question, fundamental theorem calculus, show up again, second time. Why? Because they say G is concave down. That means you had to take one derivative. So that means d to the dx of 0x ft dt. Now this one is going to be big F of x minus big F of 0 d to the dx. And that's equal to F of x times 1 minus F of 0 times 0. So g prime of x equal to F of x. G double prime of x equal to F prime of x. Is that okay? So that means you look at the increasing and decreasing of this part. It changed from which one's increasing, which one's decreasing. The only one that happened is right here. Second time it show up, fundamental theorem of calculus. Guess what? It has no involved of calculations. S-tier question, right? Understand the graph, do a number line test, do the first derivative and second derivative. And the first derivative is understand above x-axis or below x-axis. The second derivative is looking at the increasing or decreasing. Then you can do the increasing, decreasing, concave out, concave down. S-tier questions. You're going to see this happen very often. Analyzing the graph. But fundamental theorem already show up twice. Analyzing graph, it show up twice because this one is analyzing the graph. Just by able to do analyzing graph, you don't have to do calculation. You guys are suck at calculation. But you're going to get better by end of the month. But right now, if you suck, guess what? At least get those questions right. So there are 2 questions, fundamental theorem, 2 questions analyzing graph. Fundamental theorem of calculus, third time. Part 2. Right? Part 2. Third time. Not much calculation, just assume there's always d to the dx, there's the x. Guess what? You assume this is g of t. You integrate it to become capital G of t, capital G of 0 minus g of x, g of 0, take a derivative of that, g of 0. Third time. Yes.
Would they throw something at us where it's like it's not the same variable when check us and they're using FTC too?
What?
Like if they use like 0 to x the integral and then like they have 0 dt. Would do that or
no? They will not do differentiation of different variable. That's like a 2 years from there. They won't give you 2 variables that's like that. But however they will do is they don't have to give you x. They can give you e to the x. Then derivative e to the x is b e to the x, right? Instead of x. So they don't have to give you x here. They can give you 2x. They can give you sine of x. I give you, yeah, by derivative of that. So they don't have to give you that. Amanda, you follow me? I'm trying to tell you what's more important. This question is great. Julissa asked me this question, and I didn't know. Laxmi doesn't know. So Laxmi and Avery come after school and still don't understand this question. And because this question was supposed to go in the period, she told me, and I didn't go over it. But this is the most important question is what? Reading these things is between the endpoints of the intersection, between the endpoints, the segment parallel to the endpoints. This is the part that's most important. Now, what endpoint is, you have to find the slope of endpoint. If you find the slope of endpoint, that's going to give you -2. Once you get -2, you can use the equation tangent line, basic those 3 information. Then you can find out a y-intercept. And this one's hard is because it's hard to read. Julissa, I asked her to read like 5 times. She's like, I don't know what's more important. Well, endpoint is important here. You have to read it parallel to the endpoints. Reading comprehension is a very, very big deal. Another ST questions. This is, I'm going to just mark out how many stars, okay? This is the 3 stars. Why? Because you have to go over a differential equation. Because on FRQ, this is worth 6 points. Even though I hear it's only 1 point, but FRQ, same question is worth 6 points. This e to the c move to the front to become c, and you solve for c, that's going to give you 4. This is the work that you're supposed to show. You cannot just, Aiden's like, I just plug in a number. Like, dude, no, you cannot just plug in a number. You have to know how do they get y equal to 4e to the 2x squared? How many of you guys just plug in a number and pick the right answer? You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You're supposed understand slope is dy dx is equal to 4xy. They can say slope. They could say rate of change. Can they say rate of change? Yes. That still means slope. I can change this question so many ways. All you gotta do is change one words. Rate of change. Boom, it's changed. Slope. Yes, change, yes.
One of the things I did on this type of problem, like I'm not sure if we have to like, but like instead of completely like moving the C, I had two C's. Like one plus C and then one C and like there, because I didn't know like what would be the best like.
There's only one C, just e to the C. And the e to the C becomes C.
But you can't have like both C's, because like wouldn't they like still be equivalent?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I don't want to confuse student right now. I'll talk to you after class. Point infraction. What's the cheat sheet? I give you a cheat sheet yesterday. What's a phenomenal about good students? The cheat sheet is made by a student go to MIT. Her name's Ananda Santos. She actually gave me a credit. She's like, write down all year. I actually just handwritten a bunch of stuff on a paper and I handed it to her. But what's special about Ananda Santos? I'm gonna tell you, like, the CEO of a company always look for those people, and those people will eventually become CEO. Those are the people who you don't have to give him any direction how to do something. I hand a bunch of paper. I hand it to her. She went in. She's like, Mr. Ye, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this. I said, just make it better. That's it. She went home, type in everything. You can click on any little subject. You can click on the first page. It take you directly to that place. And that's what I most amazed about the student is they don't need a direction. A lot of you guys need me to tell you to do homework. I need to tell you to do this. I need to tell Luke to get his shit together. I need to tell Omar to writing well. I need to tell Rayhan start doing homework. I need to tell Julissa to start asking questions. I need to tell Laxmi to do something. I don't know. I don't know what is it. I need to tell Sydney to do better algebra. But they're all people, they know what they need to do. They discipline themselves. You need to be those people. If you want to get hired as a very important person, they don't need direction. I hand them a bunch of paper. I said, just make it better. And go home, boom. 40 minutes, come back, it's better. And that's a cheat sheet. It's by Ananda, it's not by me. This question is good, but we're not, this U substitution. U equal to 2x, you gotta change the boundary again. So anytime you use substitution, you have to change your boundary. Identity, very important, A tier. Chain rule, you're gonna see bunch chain rule as S tier. Bunch chain rule question, but I'm not gonna go over that. Hopefully you know how to go over that. Implicit derivative. You had to plug in the second derivative. Do you need me to finish this one or no? No? Yes? Okay. So x times -2 dy dx is right here. So it's going to be 2y over x squared plus 2y over x squared. And you simplify that and plug in the 1 and 3. You had to plug in the dy dx. Once you got a second derivative, there was a dy dx, you had to plug in once you get the first dy dx. This, I will say probably C tier, but because it's up, this is a cross. Oh, this is actually probably A because it can happen to FRQ. So basically, you graph that. Whatever this is, you're gonna take this to cross section, which is pi over 8 in the front. I'm not gonna do that. 27. You guys should know how to do product rule and chain rule. This is an exponential growth question. I did it on some other period. I didn't do it on this period because Elise asked me these questions. I didn't get a chance to do it. I'll have more chance to do it later. I'm just going to talk about what's more important. Average value, you're going to get it. Don't get confused between average value and average rate of change. What's the difference?
V of t minus v of v minus v of a over v minus a, and one is
f of t minus f of b over b minus a.
Average value is 1 over b minus a. Integral.
Integral. Yeah, value is integral. Rate of change is the slope. Okay. So you have to know this. It happened a lot. This hopefully you did that. This S tier 31. You have to do low D high D low low. It can be chain rule, could be everything. You have to read the graph. Slope is equal to count the rectangles. How many slope is? Yeah, this is kind of hard question. I don't know. You guys never did ask me 32, but this one's kind of hard. If I have time, I'll go over it. Increasing, decreasing, concave out, concave down, S tier. You are gonna always see this. You are always gonna see this. You guys know how to do this one now, right? 34? Everybody? I think Julissa coming after school to ask me again. You are gonna for sure get this. Point inflection, analyzing graph. It happened 3 times. Third times. I'm counting up 3 times. Graph it. This F double prime. So you look for the X intercepts rather than anything else because this is double prime. You not only look at X intercept, you have to look at if they cross the X intercept. If they just touch and come back, that doesn't count.
That was what I was asking about what that meant.
Yeah. So it's always greater than. So it has to be concave up. Well, hold on a second.
No, concave down.
Concave down.
Yeah.
Because it's always greater.
It's just a tangent.
That's an approximation. Yeah. Linear approximation means tangent line. Analyzing graph again. It happened 4th time. What are you supposed to do here? No.
Although you can scratch it.
Graph it, but what are you looking for? What are you looking for in here?
I think if you graph it and then if you look at the y value, which are like the highest one at these points.
Yes, Adam?
Is it slope or
Increase most rapidly.
wouldn't that just be when like, the slope value is the highest? So would you do like derivative and you analyze the graph of that or
Somebody explain to me what is it? Rapidly? Most rapidly? Yeah, that's all that's
Yeah, they do. No, you just and if it's increasing most rapidly, you compare the first.
Landon, what you say?
Oh, I just said to take derivative and then find starter producers. I don't know, but I guess you like go to each value and find which one has like the highest value derivative.
Okay, so how do I do that on how do I do that on graphing calculator? Yeah, try it right now. You want to find the highest point of the slope.
Well, I mean, isn't it like it can be lowest?
No, highest.
Hmm?
Increasing at the most rapid.
We graph the derivative and then look at
Wait, but like no, because then you take your negative, you're just going faster left. It's slow.
Yeah, but we are looking increase. We define as increase as to be positive of f prime of x.
Okay.
Does that make
You're
sense?
talking about not the speed increase, but the conditions like
Yeah. So you should get negative 7.566 if you take a derivative of this function. You look at the highest point. Landon was right.
Could you explain why?
Because increasing, right? You're looking for the positive of the derivative, right? But it's most rapid. That means the highest positive.
The most amount of increasing, that would be the highest.
Yeah, it'll be highest value, right? Because whatever the highest value is, how fast the slope is changing. It's changing at the fastest, so it has to be the peak of the prime of x. It cannot be the trout. Trout is the bottom, but it has to be peak because peak is positive. 38, definition of derivative. We already talked about there's two definitions. There's an alternative derivative and there is a definition of derivative. This is called alternative. Alternative simply decreasing. This question we already talked about is infinite amount. Inverse, I would say I would say it's A or B tier. It's just because it show up on a B test about 70% of the time. It only show up one question, doesn't show up more question than that. Usually only one questions. This is a good question. I think you guys asked me this yesterday. Optimization, yeah. Can you do it? Maybe not. 43. Well, if you can do it, great. I want you to be able to do it. Trust me. It's kind of hard. It is a hard question. So 43, yes. 43 is S tier differentiable. You have to understand, are they continuous? Are they differentiable? Left and right. You have to use limits. 0 from the left, 0 from the right. This is just an integration. This is not that bad. This one, Bria helped me yesterday. Good job.
What tier is 45?
I think it's not gonna happen ever again. If it happens, it's gonna show up completely different, and you have to figure out. Only the smartest student can figure out those. And obviously, you saw me struggle. So Ria is one of the smartest students. And the reason I cannot figure out is because I'm an idiot because I did not read first quadrant. So it's just one word miss. It just completely miss. So you have to be able to read every single word when they talk about first quadrant. That's why it is limited. Otherwise, I was thinking like it's could be anywhere on a B could be anywhere because I can become more vertical. But I did not read the first quadrant. So first quadrant has to look at where the x intercept. So she come up with very good explanation. Okay, let's go look at the Graybook 4. Okay, first one. What are you supposed to do? Conjugate. Do you guys remember conjugate?
Yep.
Times square root x plus square root b top and bottom, and you should work out a math. You should end up to get one of the answer. Equation tangent line, you gotta take a derivative cosine of x. But there's a chain rule on the second one. So it'd be what? Secant square 2x times 2. Did you do that? Yes? If you did that, chain rule again. Yes.
On the first one I did, I'll have to.
Alhambra rule should work, right? Yeah, it should work. Did you get the same answer?
Yeah, people third period did I'll have to.
You can do a Alhambra rule because 0/0 is a Alhambra rule. Those people in third period. All right. Analyzing graph again, but this is different. This is just a normal graph. This is not too bad, but they do have. This is a good tier list for. This is an A tier. Is because you had to analyze in a graph. So limit x approaches 3. Is that 1? Is that true or false? False. But what is supposed to be?
Oh, it'd be f of b.
So not only you had to know what is the right answer, you had to know where's the right answer. What is it supposed to be? Is it equal to 1? Or equal to 2? Or equal to 3? Or equal to 4? What is that equal to? If it's false, you got to tell me the right answer. This is how you study. Is knowing why each answer are correct and why each answer are wrong. If they're wrong, how do I make it right?
I think it'll be undefined.
No, you dumbass. What will be the answer? Can somebody tell me limit x approaching 3 is 3. Thank you. It's both go into 3. Sorry, Armor, I like you. That's why. That's the only reason why I call you dumbass. If I don't like you, that means I don't call you dumbass. Limit x approach to 4. What happened?
That one doesn't exist.
Right, it's not reaching the same value. A lot of people says, dude, I don't remember anything from limits. I don't know how many people told me that all the time. That's like first week of school. Does not exist because they reach different number. Is that continuous at 3? No. Why look? Why you nod your head? At 5, it's continuous, yes. This limit x approaches 6 equal to f of 6? No, it just does not exist. Does not exist, does not equal to 6. So you have to understand each one. Again, absolute value graph, write down absolute value, look at geometrically. Right? Never do that. And now you gotta know how to graph. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The graphs should be looking like this. Because this means right 3, this up 3. What happened at 2? What is the slope at 2? Huh?
Oh no, it's negative 1. Or 0. Undefined.
You are dumbass for like 4
I
times.
thought it was at like 3, and like the thing was like here. I thought it was like this one, but here it's not.
What is it? What's your final answer?
Sharp term doesn't exist.
Thank you. Does not exist. But if I were to ask you f prime of 3, what would that be? What would I ask f prime of 2? 1. Yeah. So look, I can change your question just tiny bit.
So it only depends on like the slope.
Yes, you had to graph it first though. And don't be like him. He's not him. You cannot take a derivative of absolute value. Well, they can. There was an old textbook, there was a way to take a derivative, and I don't even remember it. But almost teacher never taught it because it's not bothered because it's so much more work compared to if you look at geometrically. Look, if they ask you the prime, you look at the slope. If they ask you the integral, you look at area under the curve. You only can do it geometrically, and that's the fastest way to do it. U substitution for me, I don't expand this one because I'll do U substitution. and they choose to do U substitution as well. U sub is another big topic. S tier, U sub, chain rule. So U sub, chain rule, fundamental theorem calculus, analyzing graph. They're all good questions. What the hell is this? Oh, yeah, okay. S of B minus S of A over B minus A. But there's a second way to find average velocity. All right, I'm gonna go continuous on this exam. You guys can watch this part of it on third period. So I'm gonna continuous at this. So that way, you guys still don't miss a beat, and they can watch the first part. So. All right, hey, you guys got fifth exam today. You want me to airdrop to you right now? Okay, hold on. Huh? You can stop at 25, it's fine. All right, this time try to do it without resources. Airdrop to you, first 28 questions. Look, you had to get your shit together, please.
28 questions, like 45 minutes.
28 question. It's about 2 minutes per question, so 56 minutes. I don't know who's Melissa, who's Carrie. Oh, watch their step it. Oh, that's your phone. Okay.
On the actual multiple choice, do they grade our work too, or
What?
on the actual multiple choice, do they also grade our work, or just our answers?
I don't like brown people. Sorry.
Wow.
Jamie, can you send it to me?
Like, do they see that?
I already sent it to you like 3 times.
Not going.
I don't know. My computer's being racist. That's like Hispanics.
Alright.
What'd you say?
Like, when we do the multiple choice, are they gonna grade our work, or just what we circled as our answer?
What do you circle your answer? But you should base on your work to circle your answer. You cannot say, I feel like C today because C is always a right choice.
Yeah.
No. No, just first 30. First 28.
No, level 2. Bro, I study art. What is it? It's about over hunting animals. Dude, yeah. Because like for
Yeah, when you reach infinity, you divide highest to the bottom. But it's not always true. So this one you want to do a hop. Because this is gonna be infinity over infinity. You can divide it by e to the x. But that wouldn't still work. But what happened is if you have limit x approach negative infinity of e to the x minus 3 over 4 minus 3 e to the x, in this case, it might not work in this case because if you take a derivative, it's going to be e to the x over negative 3 e to the x. And if you cancel out, you reach negative infinity, it doesn't really work. So it's best to just plug in infinity in this particular situation. So e to the negative infinity is what? What is e to the negative infinity? 0. So this part would be 0, this part would be 0, so it's actually the answer is negative 0 or more. Yeah, I would just, for infinity, I would do a Hopper rule here because it would be e to the x over e to the x, and that would be 1. Negative 1, sorry, that would be negative 1. If negative infinity, it's going to be slightly different. But yeah, but most in general case, I would divide it by highest degree. I'm going to come look at some people's work. I mean, question finish on question 4. 7. I think I got 3, 4. 7. I think we just how far you got that.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Why aren't we helping with number 16?
Even that in the half
That question makes so much more sense now. It was the optimization.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Optimization is just like finding a mistake. I mean, if you think about it,
Exactly. It's basically like using words to solve and help you solve the problem.
Yeah, no limits. One from the positive side. I had a lot, right? Right. I had one. Like, yeah, we have key limits and
You didn't math over here?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. You want to start over? One, we got 8. 2. Oh, shit.
what's your derivative?
Yeah.
Negative
You're
9
looking at it
plus
at that
16 squared 2x.
Yeah.
So,
So when you plug in,
like here, like the limit at 1 is,
the sign is 0.
but like here, the limit at -4 is
plus. Oh, what a that's where I messed up.
After you how about more?
Yeah, it's so for 3 I got D. 4. Four I got
Oh, my French, bro.
What would happen? Cause like, that's like, oh, I have my.
yeah, I think so.
Okay, I probably.
Like, I was looking at it. It looks like.
I was not home.
This is all about limits. Yeah, that's.
You said the answer was what?
And then, ooh, I forgot IBT. IBT is like.
Oh, I just see it.
That's like -1. It's less than X is less.
6 C.
I stayed up late.
There's 6 surprisingly
Wait,
easy.
is IBT?
Yeah.
Like first I did, I was like, no way, that's the answer.
I was thinking.
Yeah, for 7.
Also,
8.
trade limits, I looked at.
I think 2 I did.
For 8, okay, 8 kind of tripped me up. Out of control. Yeah, I think I skip this one.
This one is
Limit, which way?
this is a hard.
I could. He's has
3x element.
Okay, so 3. Oh, okay.
He's
Bro, I don't know why I added them.
Yeah, it's
I think I messed up like for some reason I thought I could get a property.
Yeah, like from here to here, that's the function. So, yeah.
If you knew
Wait, Mr. Yeah, should we review, please?
even though it's pretty easy.
The chance of that show up is very limited. And if it does show up, it's probably 20% chance. I think for the last 10 years, I think one question in FRQ at 2018, and that's only the last time I heard. And that was the one question that it's only worth 1 point, so it was like not a big deal. But we will review that if you need it. But all right, I'm gonna airdrop you packet 5. Now, those of you guys are finished. This time, I want you to finish with a time. You gotta try to do a time. So how long to take 28 questions? 56 minutes. You got 2 minutes per questions, and try to give yourself a grade by tomorrow. So, yes, you are gonna guess. Why do I airdrop to myself? Okay, so give yourself a time, do it yourself, go over it. There's the answer already posted, so you can give yourself a grade within the time limit this time. You gotta set a more increment changes of your difficulty, and you want to change to become a test standard. You cannot just say, oh, I can look up the notes, I can do this. Look up the notes before you start. Make sure you go over the cheat sheet, make sure you understand every concept. Now you start and finish. If you can finish all 45 questions by tomorrow, finish all 45 questions by tomorrow. But if it's homework, I'm just only look at the first 28. Give yourself grade at first 28. Or you can give yourself after you finish both. The more you structure yourself, the better, because the thing is about discipline to yourself. Like I told you, that student, I give him a whole bunch of paper. I says, this is the cheat sheet. I want you to make it better. So I give it to them, and they find a way to make it better. And they're able to discipline themselves to make sure they get it done. And that's what the leadership's usually looking for. If I'm Elon Musk, I'm gonna hire you. I'm gonna say, it's impossible for you to discipline yourself till you get your shit done, right? Or if I give you a project, if I give you a lead project, you're gonna find, I don't have to give you a direction. Elon Musk doesn't give you direction. Elon Musk just say, I need the rocket to make sure it landed back to the ships. An engineer go do that. The people who have the ability go do that. People have no ability, he'll fire you. Okay. That's just the way it is. People have no ability, they do not discipline themselves. People have ability, they can discipline themselves, they can find a way to get it done. So discipline yourself, try to get it done. Let's talk about how important those questions is. You guys already know the answer. We're gonna go over test 4. Now I went through a deep dive on the test 3 on the first period. What I mean by deep dive, I talk about what is more important. Okay, so we find out from test 3. That's what we find out. I'm gonna give you a summary from second period. The summary for second period is you are always gonna get a chain rule questions. You're always gonna get chain rule question. You're always gonna get the U sub questions. Increasing, decreasing, concave up, concave down, inflection point, maximum, minimum. You're always gonna get this. But they only have one question of each kind. You're always gonna get El Hopper rule. You're always gonna get two more things that always there and happen multiple times. One is analyzing the graph. The other one is fundamental theorem of calculus. Let's see if this same thing reoccur at the test 4. But you guys can watch the first part of the video, which is I did that. So we're gonna go to that test 4. Okay, first one, conjugate. El Hopper rule. Some second period says third period to the El Hopper rule. It's fine. Oh, sorry, this is not it. Hold on a second. Quick time. Okay, yeah. So first question, conjugate. Did you do conjugate? Did you do El Hopper rule? Which one's better? You think El Hopper rule is better? Is it? Okay, we're gonna go with El Hopper rule. Second question, chain rule. Why is chain rule? Where does the chain rule occur? Tangent of 2x, so it'd be secant squared 2x times 2. And you had to plug in 0 and 1, and you had to do y minus y1 m times x minus x1 find out equation tangent line. I don't need to go through all to do that. I'm just gonna read each question. This question, I'm gonna tell you, this is very important. Not only you pick the right answer, you have to tell me what is the wrong statement. How do I make a wrong statement correct? And very common, somebody always told me one thing. Mr. Yu, I don't remember anything about limits. Yeah, that's because that's covered the first 4 weeks of school. 2 weeks we did a review, and we only did 1 week of limits, and you don't remember. But here's how to review this stuff. When the x approaches 3, if it's just 1, 3, that means you have to look at both sides. So the answer is what? How do I make this correct statement? When limit x approaches 3, what's the answer? 3. So not only that, you gotta be able to tell me what's the right answer. Not only the false statement. Pick a right statement doesn't make you a 5. Pick a right statement is going to give you a 4. But understand why each statement is wrong and how do you make it correct. It's going to be a 5 level 5. How about limit x approaches 4? Is that 3? What is it? It does not exist because it reached 2 different values. Why? One's going this way, one is going this way. One's going to, I don't know, 1.5, and one's going to 3. So it does not exist. Is that okay? Continuous at 3. Well, is that continuous? No, there was a hole. So it's not at 3. So no, there's a hole. Is it continuous at 5? Yes, it's a solid dot. It's continuous 5. What's the 3 condition? F of A has to be defined. F of A is defined. F of I is defined. Limit x approaches 5 from the left and right are equal to each other. And they are equal to f of A. Done. D is correct. Limit x approaches the 6 of f of x equal to f of 6. Is that true? Because limit x to 6 actually does not exist. F of 6 is actually equal to 1. So not only I know this is equal to 1, this does not exist. This is a 1. And I can write down what's a correct statement. You guys gotta go practice, make the wrong statement right. That's how you study any subject. It's like, well, what is wrong with it? Not only is wrong, but you gotta tell me what's wrong with it. Pick a right answer. I think 50% of students able to do that. So tell me how do I make a wrong statement right? Only like 10% of students can do that. Therefore, those 10% are level 5. Actually, 19% to be exactly to get a 5. On AP exam, 19% of population take an exam, got a 5. In my view, that's kind of high, but have it don't deserve. You should be making 10%. So that means the thing should be at 80 rather than 70. 80 out of 108. Oh, I think that's reasonable to get a 5, but if that College Board is gonna run out of business. I think physics is like 10%, right? Right? Physics is 10% to get a 5, right? It does what? 4%? Yeah, physics is so much better. Is he like, no? Physics is great. 4%. We should make 4% get a 5. Again, people who take physics are different species. So you guys are unique.
35%.
Who?
For physics,
So they're all like
mechanics.
Physics what?
For mechanics, it's like 35% to 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, why is that's physics 1?
Yeah. Yeah. Mechanics is just math.
Oh. AP Chinese, 92%.
Yeah.
Everybody get a 5 because all the people who take it are Chinese people. It's like AP Spanish too. Well, AP Spanish has a lot of American take AP Spanish.
Yeah, they didn't start.
But all the Chinese people take AP Chinese. I'll teach you AP Chinese. I give up in math. I'm gonna teach you AP Chinese.
Take it on YouTube or you speak
All right. All right. So for anything absolute value, write it down. Anything absolute value, look at it geometrically rather than algebraically. Always geometrically. So if I look at this question, I can change this question 3 different ways. 3 ways I can change this question. Look at this. I can ask you f prime of 2. I can ask you f prime of 1. I can ask you f prime of 3. And they're all different answers. Why? Because you look at this, no calculation, 30-second question. You gotta know how to graph though. This moving which direction? Up or down? No, it's trick, it's right.
Oh.
Sucker. 3. 1, 2, 3. It's going to go up. Inside the absolute value, it's going to opposite of horizontally. So it's -2, it's going to go right 2. And this 3. So if I ask you f2, it's actually right here. This does not exist because it's a sharp turn. Is limit left does not equal to limit right on a slope. f1 is -1. This is a 1. Do you see that? I can ask you this question 3 sorts of way. If I ask you integral between this, between 0 to 4, guess what? I'm looking at area under the curve, right? Area under the curve. If I look at integral area under the curve, derivative is slow. By understanding some basic ideas, you're gonna be fine. So really depends on the question is. So in this case, this is the answer. Can I ask you integral? Yes, absolutely. Geometrically, it's so much easier. Count the area of triangle is much better than doing definite integral. Number 5, use substitution. I'm not gonna be self-explain that. U equal to 3x plus 5, but every time you do du, it'll be 3 dx du over 3. I don't know what's the right answer.
It's D.
Average velocity. You have to know two ways to get average velocity. According to cheat sheet, if I give you a position, how do I find average velocity? S of B minus S of A over B minus A, right? What if I give you velocity? How do I find a velocity if I give you average velocity? That looks so weird. How do I do that? So this one is average velocity. How do I figure out average velocity if velocity is given? Nobody can tell me that?
1 over B minus.
1 over B minus A, good. He looked at that cheat sheet. Smart boy. He looked at his phone. Why is that? Because if you integrate this, what happened? S of B minus S of A, right? Because the integrated velocity equal to position, right? Over B minus A. Still same thing. But really depends on what's given to you. If I give you a velocity, you gotta find the average value. If I give you the position, then just do the rate of change. So review of average value, average rate of change. Super easy, super quick. Chain rule. Except this one's kind of funky. Right? What's derivative of e to the x times y? E to the xy. Right? And now I gotta take a derivative of this, which is product rule. Y plus x dy dx is equal to 0. Plug in all the things. I don't know what's the answer. E to the ln of 2 times ln of 2 plus dy dx is equal to 0. Right? This is going to be 2 ln of 2 plus dy dx equal to 0. 2 ln of 2 plus 2 dy dx equal to 0. 2 ln 2 negative over 2. Negative natural log of 2? 30-second. Piece of cake. Product rule. 3 ln x plus 3x over x. Yeah, too easy. Again, guess what? Absolute value again. Do they like absolute value? Yes. By the way, can I give you a question like this? What's the answer of that? Wah, wah. I can change the question all sorts of way. What is this? Is 2 pi? You're right. I think so. It's a pi r square divided by 2. So it's a pi times 2 square over 2. So it's 2 pi. Semicircle. Can I go from 0 to 2? Yes, that's a quarter circle. So this is a quarter, this is a semicircle equation. Ria, look at that. It's like, what the hell is this? Huh? And yep, that's a semicircle. Can they ask that? Very rarely. But if they give it to you, you know how to do it. I remember one kid that who's come on, don't worry about it. 10. Let R be region first quadrant enclosed by x squared minus 2kx, where k is a constant. If area 36. Let's teach me how to set up. X squared minus 2kx, so x minus 2k. So x equal to 0. X equal to 2k. So it's in the fourth quadrant. Yep, this graph is going to be 2k. So this graph is going to be like this, right? And they say area is equal to 36. Oh, this is kind of fun. I'm going to do it. Area is 36. So it's top minus bottom. So it's integration 0 to 2k. 0 minus x squared minus 2kx dx is equal to 36. Does that make sense? Why? Ria, does that make sense? Okay, so top minus bottom, right? Because top minus bottom is going to give me this, right? Has to be top minus bottom. Has to be 0 to 2k because that's where the bound is. How do I find the bound? I set equal to 0. I know this is a parabola facing up. Kind of difficult questions. Right? So that's going to be integration negative x squared plus 2kx dx equal to 36 between 0 to 2k. So that's going to be x cubed over 3 minus plus 2kx over 2. 2 cancel out between 2k to 0 is equal to 36. This is a lot of work. 2k, so minus 8k to the third over 3 plus 2k, so it's going to be what? 4k to the third equal to 36. Is that right? Am I doing okay? Jamie, am I doing okay? Okay. So what is this? Is a same term, like term. So I don't know. This one is going to be 12. So it'll be 3. It's 3 or 4. 4k 3 over 3 equal to 36. 4k 3 equal to 108. K3 is equal to 27. K is equal to 3. Is that right? Oof. A lot of math. What'd you say, Shelvin? You didn't even try?
It's not the.
Okay. Do you find the easier way or you just get lucky?
I didn't get an answer because I didn't really know what to do.
Okay, so it's 0 to 2k. Why 0 to 2k? Because 2k is where the x-intercept is. And the sense of the parabola is below, it's facing up, so you know 0 to 2k. Kind of hard questions. I think most of you guys very afraid of k problems, and there is a reason why, because you don't know what it's supposed to be doing. But you have to do it to 0 to 2k. Very hard question. Anybody got this one right by themselves and show the correct work? Owning 2? Yeah, I would definitely say it's level 5 question. You did? Nice. You gotta get a 5 in AB.
Hopefully.
If you got a 5 in BC and get a 2 in AB,
Can I do that?
possibly. Arturo did that. He got a 5 in BC and he got a 4 in AB. Minimum value. Oh. Yesterday somebody asked me this question. I don't know who was it. Who's likes me? Oh, Avery? Is that you? No, somebody else. Okay, do you know what's value mean? Every time it says minimum value, what does the value mean? Y. So not only you have to take a derivative, set it equal to 0. So e to the x equal to 2, ln of 2, x, and you have to plug it ln of 2 into here. So e to the ln of 2 minus 2 ln of 2. I don't know, what is that? 2 minus 2 ln of 2. 2, 1 minus ln of 2. The answer is D. Kind of hard because you have to find the output, not input. Now, should you do a lumber line test? Yeah, you should. ln of 2. If it's less than that, it's going to give me negative positive. So yeah, it's minimum value. I think this is the question that this is the question that Jared's helping Tanner. Is that this a question?
Yeah.
The 2 and the 4 are just.
What did he pick? What did he pick? The graph of fx, if f is continuous -37 are differentiable -37, then there's existing c. Oh, this is the mean value theorem. So such that f, well, how do I make a true? Can I make a true? Is it possible to make a true? Because Tanner make it a, but it's possible to make a true. One of you guys should be able to figure out how do I make an A become a true statement. Because Tanner says A and Jared says you are an idiot. That was a conversation, I think, right? But how do I make an A true though? Jared, do you know how to make an A true? That's a second way to do it. That's a smart way to think about it. Change your second point. But is it possible to make a true besides the second points? Oh, by the way, what do you want to change the second point to? 7-4. 7-4, yeah, 7-4 is good.
No, but you would have to make it F prime.
Yes. So you had to change 2 things. So good job. Prime, first of all, you don't have to change that. That's my idea. Is like I don't have to change that. I can just F prime C because that's Rolle's value theorem. I hear there's a slope of 0.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't like the graph could be. I think that's what Tanner did. Is he looked at the graph and he was like, "Oh, it looks like there's a point where it's 0." So he just picked it, but it doesn't tell you that, so it's not like 100%.
Yeah, not exactly visual. I can see what you're saying, but it does have go up and come back down. So it did show like go up and come back down. So you should have a 0. So you can make the statement true. F prime C is equal to 0. F prime C is undefined. No. F prime C is equal to 1/5. No, because the endpoint is actually negative. So I would say D is the right choice by just looking at it visually. I didn't do a calculation. You should do a calculation though. You should find the slope between those 2 points. -1/5 is alright because -5 is too deep of slope. It's not right. Chain rule. Guess what? Recurring theme. Chain rule again. Second time. Chain rule. Is that okay? What is this? Low D high, high D low, or what? That's what you did? Yeah, I'll probably do low D high, D low. I don't know. The answer is what? Huh? See, okay, low D high, D low. I'm not gonna do that. That's too boring. Oh, this one just asking. Okay, this one just asking the area under the curve between 1 to 15, and use the left Riemann sum. So it should be 2 times 2 plus 3 times 3 plus 4 times 4. 5 times 2. Is that right? Oh, you gotta be careful. Sometimes they have initial condition on this type of question. Depends on what situation you have to including initial condition. For example, if I would say like g of x is gonna be among the water that is in the tank, fill in the tank, go into the tank. and there's already 20 gallon in the tank. So if you want to find out how much water in the tank, then it's going to be 20 plus all the integrations. But depends, is it how much water flow in the tank? No. This is a fun question. Do you guys need me to go through this one? Yes, no, maybe? Anybody need me to do this one? No, Jimmy's like, this is too easy. Omar?
Jimmy helped with it.
Of course Jimmy helped you. You gotta pay Jimmy. I gotta pay
Yeah, he's
tutor.
actually a really good tutor. Like actually,
Yeah, you had to pay him now.
I become a doctor. I'll give you a lot of money.
Doctor.
For all these hours.
Do I need to go over this one or no? Yes, raise your hand. No, moving on. I kind of don't want to do a related rate right now. This is a good question though. Okay, so let's go over this one. So g of x is going to be between -2 to 2, f of x equal to 15 minus 2x. So can I substitute that? So it's going to be -2 to 2, 15 minus 2g of x, right? The answer's not there, damn it. Okay, so integrate of this, integrate of -2 to 2 of 15, that's gonna be 60. Does that make sense? And the integration of -2 to 2 of 2g of x. Is that true? Oh, minus, sorry. Can do negatives. Can I take out 2? Yeah, I think E, right? Yes?
I think it's 6.
Because integration from -2 to 2, that means the width is 4. Of 15, well, height is 15. That's a rectangle. So 15 times 4 is 60. You just have to take a derivative of this and do definite integral. I'm not going to do that. That's too easy. I'm going to leave that to you. Ooh, that's a good question. Why this is a good question? They're asking speed is increasing or decreasing. That means you have to do what? '19. Did you guys do 19? They say the rate of change of velocity of particle. So that's a acceleration, right? So acceleration at 0 is what? What's the acceleration at 0? That means negative sign of 0 minus square root 3 times cosine of 0. What is sine of 0? It's 0. Negative square root 3. So it'd be negative root 3, right? So acceleration is negative, but velocity is positive. So that means speed is what? Decreasing. And wait, the particle is moving right though. Oh, so this one, right? So D, right? B is decreasing, is moving right because this is positive, so it's moving right. Is this hard? I think it's hard to read. Do I get a right answer first of all? Okay. No, well, it's they have opposite sign. They are slowing down.
Yeah. But I meant, like, for direction.
For direction is because they are positive, so it's going right. If it's negative, it's going left. If must be true. Okay, let's do this question. Let f be function differentiable. So differentiable means continuous, open interval between a and b. If f has a relative minimum, so it has a relative minimum, then which one must be true? Well, relative minimum is slope is equal to 0. That has to be true. F double prime of C must exist. I don't know about that one. F double prime of C exists. Then F double prime of C is greater than 0. I don't know if that's true. It's concave up. But can I create a situation that's not true? F double prime of C must exist. Do they have to exist? I don't know. Can you create a situation that F double prime of C does not exist? Jimmy, can you create a situation?
I guess it's like when F prime just has like a hard stop. And it can't exist. I think if you have a hard stop somewhere F prime, you can still have.
If you have a hard stop, does that it's not differentiable though.
Yeah, prime. F prime has a hard stop at C, then it's not going to be there. But it can still, I guess, no.
But what kind of situation? Jerry might need help with this one. F double prime. That's not an answer though, right?
It's only one. It's only one.
Yeah, it's only one. But I don't know how to create a situation F double prime C must
I
exist.
mean, if you take like a parabola and then you say it's off the vertex, it's still be a relative minimum. Or what about like an absolute value? A relative minimum.
But absolute value graph is different. It's gonna be not differentiable at the original function.
Right, but it'll still be a relative.
Oh, are you saying that double prime, the first prime, is gonna after you take a derivative, it's gonna become an absolute value graph. Then F double prime does not exist.
I was thinking just the regular like F of it. Because it's still a relative minimum.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like if I have an absolute value graph, the bottom, like the vertex of the absolute value, that's still a relative minimum, right? Even if it's not differentiable. Right? I mean, you get what the question is, that's right.
No, I don't get what you're saying. I'm not getting that questions. Here.
If that's my graph. This point is still a relative.
Well, that's the original graph.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they say the original function is differentiable. That's not differentiable. But I'm saying, what if some
That's
function
different.
derivative is become that, so 2 does not exist. But the thing is, I cannot think of equation that where derivative is equal to absolute value. Which function you take a derivative becomes absolute value, where, because the answer is A. So, but that means 2 and 3 not true. That means F double prime C, it doesn't have to exist. But why it doesn't have to exist, I just cannot come up with a situation why it does not exist.
I don't know. Well, I think because if that's possible to make a graph that is the derivative, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
Let me look at a solution here. I don't know. I'm trying to think about a situation that will work. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20.
Yeah. I was going to be meeting with Kai anyway, so
Okay. Nice.
hopefully we have enough time to build our tower then because of the meeting. Because
Yeah, it's normally super short, I think.
well, it's just because I can only save about an hour total.
It won't be.
You know, I did that.
I was more
I did
worried
that
about the
entire
actual
trip
building
in
of the tower itself
for,
than anything else.
4, and you were right. That math section was not even. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
What,
That
the
module 2 math section was weird.
For
The
what?
one you couldn't finish, you were talking about it yesterday. That shit was weird.
Yeah, it's hard.
That shit was actually hard.
Which one?
The practice test 4 on Graybook for the SAT. That's hard.
It's so out there.
I don't know how they expected someone to finish that.
What did you get though?
I got a 700. When I used to get 770, that was really long.
I got 780, 790, 780, 790. I don't remember, but I messed up the last question.
Yeah,
I ran out of time.
Yeah, I ran out of time for like 3 questions at the end. I was like, I can't.
Hello.
It's so hard to read, so hard to.
It was genuinely different.
It's so different in OSAT. It's completely
And
different.
it's not curved anymore. There's no curve or no nothing.
There's no curve.
No, it's no curve. So I
Who
was
said?
like-
Who says?
I looked it up and the college boy said there's no curve anymore. I was like, bro, I'm so good. For the SAT. Right now.
So I think the average score has gone down around 40 to 50 points.
Yeah.
Because the last person I have Fatima, she had 780. Now she scored 720.
Yeah.
This is a weirdo.
Wouldn't that mean today's a weirdo? And this today's a weirdo?
Don't think about it.
I'm a weirdo.
That's what Ethan said.
I am a weirdo.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I'm right.
Wow.
I admit it.
No, you can hush.
I'm not.
You're fired.
Gotta go get like 2 week notice.
Bro, I can't get up at 6 a.m. Like 5 a.m.
Yippee!
Oh.
Like, I might have one at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
Listen, I get up
on
at-
a Saturday.
Simon, as a predictor right now, I think you are the one person that for sure not gonna pass right now.
Where do you live? Yeah. How far from the school? Like, that you have to wake up at 5?
Some amount of distance.
You did a 5 in
You suck.
Yeah, well, because I have a bunch of stuff to do.
You have a comment?
I used to walk his dog 5 different times.
No, it's the fact that like I can't shower in the afternoon because I sleep with my dog. My dog's disgusting.
Wait, you
So you get
usually shower in.
Well, it's gonna be dirty anyway.
Oh, hold on.
That's why we have washing machines.
So not in the morning, not in the evening,
No, I
but in the
don't.
afternoon?
What are you guys talking about?
They're claiming that I wake up at 5 a.m.
No, we're saying
Why
no.
do you
He
have
said that he
options?
takes his showers in the afternoon.
That's the new morning. That I can't take it in the
So
afternoon.
you
Did you
just
do
always
it
use
before you
it.
had graph?
He is parametric. Nothing. Has nothing to do with what you're doing.
Afternoon or evening?
doing this racing on the
Now I just take shower in the morning because it doesn't matter if I get in my
What? No, I feel like
I went at 30 because my dog's disgusting.
Yeah, I did it.
My dog doesn't sleep anywhere else.
All right, so shh. Maddie, shut the hell up. Maddie, shut. All right. Wow.
Mr. A,
Thank
why did
you.
Post the packet yesterday.
All right. So what I did is I went through from second period. I start with the exam 3, and I told you like what's important. You can more likely to go back to watch some of those video, but we are going toward the second half of exam 4. So you guys have to go back if you think about something that's important. I will go through them. But you know, if I have chance to go through all the questions, I'll go through them, all of them. But right now we are on the first period. I start with the exam 3. Like what are the most important questions in exam 3, and I went through like almost to end of the exam 3, And last period, I go over the first 20 question on exam 4. And this question, we're gonna continue to finish, hopefully finish going over all of them. I already issued the exam 5. So today, the exam 5, you're gonna treat it as actual tests. So set a timer, 56 minutes. Try to be able to do it by yourself. Even you come out to school, just set a timer 56 minutes. Try to do it by yourself. See how far you can do, and give yourself a grade afterwards. The more you treat it like this is a real test, the better that you're gonna be able to do on the actual test. Because when most of the time it's kind of chillax, have your TikTok turning on, and have your Brawl Star, Star Wars, and I don't know, Instagram Reel, Snapchat is all turning on. It's not really what a test situation is like. Yes. No, 56 minutes only first 28 questions. So it's 2 minutes per questions. So I already issued the exam 5. Give yourself an honest assessment, because the more honest assessment you give it to yourself, the better you're gonna do on your test. Or not always better, but it's just more likely you can do better because you can see what the real test situation is under stress. How far can you do? Okay. So test 5 and test 6. But yeah, this is a difficult question. They're not easy. So we got to question 20. We've gone through the first few. I'll just kind of go through like number 4. Number 4, first one is conjugate or El Hopto rule. You can do either way. You should get a result. By the way, did you guys finish? Jack, did you finish? Or how far are you at? Did you finish test 3? Did you finish test 4? How many questions? Huh? You haven't started. Okay, well, I want you to get started. Did you give yourself a grade on packet 3?
When I checked out of 30, it's like 20.
Okay, well, that's fine. But if I were you, I'll double check. Did you finish?
Yeah.
Both?
I got until question 35 on packet 4.
Okay, I can live with that. Chase, did you finish? 38? Okay. Simon, I'm not even bothered to ask. You are so screwed. Aiden, Vincent, did you finish? Oh no, I was playing ping pong yesterday.
I got home at 6 o'clock because you're playing ping pong, so I didn't do anything housework.
I didn't ask you to play ping pong.
I didn't play ping pong. So you can't complain.
And you suck at it.
Yeah. So what?
You don't have the Asian gene. Avidash, you finish? Ding?
Yeah.
Catherine, you finish? Do you give yourself a grade on the second one?
Conjugate.
Elaine?
I pretty much finished it now.
Huh? Finish both of them?
Oh, well, the first one, the third one, completely done. The fourth one, we went over it and pretty much like, there's a couple questions, but I'm pretty much finished with it.
Okay, you are somebody I will be worried about. I want to make sure you understand. Try to make sure you understand every question.
But this has to be negative for it to make it, so that it.
Maddie, did you finish?
And then
28,
X
still
is
got
X
more
is
to
going
go.
to B,
Rajesh, do you finish?
I'm on the FRQs.
Oh, you don't need to do FRQ.
Oh, let me try to do that.
Oh wait, Kevin, did you finish?
I'm almost
The limit.
something. I'm back in.
Oh, so what do you?
I'm done with 3.
And-
I'm almost done.
What have we done?
No FRQ. We're gonna talk about FRQ next week.
Oh.
So we're gonna spend some time to talk about FRQ next week. All right. So the first one is El Hopto rule. If you do El Hopto rule, it should give you a right answer. Tony, did you finish packet 4?
That's where you.
Or did you finish packet 3? Huh?
And then you. I'm almost done.
But did you finish packet 3? How come you start doing packet 4 without doing packet 3? You're being slacking. Remember, you're gonna have a grade what I think about you. If I don't grade, if I don't think too much of you, then that's gonna be a bad grade. Number 2, it just chain rule. Take a derivative tangent of 2x is secant square of 2x, right? Times 2. Don't forget that. So y equal to negative sign of x plus secant square of 2x times 2. And plug in 0 and 1, you're going to find slope. And then plug in equation tangent line. Equation tangent line is one of the main themes that you're going to use. For this question, I would like to go over this question again. Just like very, very important. For me, like you not only can find a true statement, you have to find out how to make statement true. Okay, let's start with the first one. This is how you do this type of question. How do I make a statement true?
You have to be continuous at 1.
No, what's limit x approach to 3 is equal to?
Oh,
If I want to make it a true statement, how do I do that? It's equal to 3, thank you. Because they both has to equal to 3 because they go into this direction. It has to equal to 3, so this is 3. Limit x approach to 4. How do I make it a correct statement?
You have to make it positive, 4 positive or 4 negative. Well,
And
no,
which is what?
you have to make it 4 positive.
But how do I make it a true statement?
Like 1.5.
No, does not exist.
Oh, does not exist.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because reach 4 is 1 is negative 1 and 1 is positive 3. So since they both does not equal to each other, it does not exist. Does that make sense?
If 4 was negative, so if we had limit x to negative, like 4 was a negative on it, would that be 1.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
If 4 to the positive side, it's going to be 3.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you can make it as a true statement. C, is f of x continuous at x equal to 3? No, it's not continuous.
Does that make sense?
D is true statement. E, how do I make it a true statement? Well, I can't really make it a true statement because limit x approaches 6.
Does not.
It actually does not exist. And does not exist does not equal to f of 6. Okay, 3. 4, I just gonna go through talk about fast. 1 is this. You might want to write it down this. Anytime you see absolute value, always think about geometry rather than thinking about algebra. And geometry is much better. And you're only thinking about algebra is you have to graph it. This told you move right 2, and this told you move up 3. So this is the graph. So therefore, I can ask you 3 different type of questions. I can ask you f prime 2 is a sharp turn, does not exist because it's right here. I can ask you f prime 1 is 1. I can ask you f prime 3 is equal to 1. So because the slope on the other side is different. Number 5, U substitution. Don't forget the DU. When you do U substitution, always do things in the U world. That means the boundary has to change. Evaluation has to change. Change the boundary, please. And also make sure you do DU. Average value. Average velocity. No, here's the thing. They are the first definition of average velocity is the difference of b over difference of the time. And second definition is this. What if the equation doesn't give you the positions? What if I give you velocity? How do I find velocity? How do you find average velocity from velocity equation? Yeah, 1 over b minus 8 integration a to b v of t dt. So if you do the integration v of t is going to be s. So s of b minus s of a over b minus a. Eventually, regardless, it's going to get a same. But really think about a question. How do I change the equation? Only thing I have to change in this question, I can say is, hey, velocity. Right? And then then you have to do integration natural log of t. Which is you don't know how to do that yet. You'll learn that next year if you still taking this class. Madeline's like, nope.
It's really if I want to take BC, if I want to have Mr. Cooper.
Then you take a BC. Gage will tell you to take BC.
He is trying so hard to convince me.
No, you remind me of Paige. I think you can pull out a 5 here. I think you can pull out a 5 next year. But are you guys math talented student? No, but you'll find a way. But yeah. Chain rule. If you do chain rule correctly, it's gonna be negative natural log of 2. This is what I got. This is the product rule. Anybody need me to go over this? No, right? Hopefully. I don't know. Is it A? Okay, cool. I'm moving on. Again, absolute value. Vincent did like calculations. Do not do calculation. Find the area under the curve. This, right? Find the area triangle. This is 1. This is 1. This, I think this is 4 and 4.
5 and 5.
Oh, 5 and 5. I'm so sorry. My bad. I can't count. Now I can ask you this question as well. Quiet. That's also geometric understanding. What is that? Semicircle. Can you find a semicircle between negative 2 to 2? I can ask you that. Oh, this question is really hard. I know 10 it was a level 5
Oh
student.
yeah, I don't know how to do it.
This is a level 5 student questions. I'm gonna go through it. Level 5 student. Let's see if you're level 5. How many guys got it right? Raise your hand if you did. Vincent?
Nice job,
Okay. Okay. Vincent's like, yep, I'm slow, but I get it done. So anyway, total winner race, yes. So first of all, you had to understand how to do this. You always find x-intercept. I always told you that. X times x minus 2k. Now this is x squared, that means parabola is going to face up. And that also means there is a 0 and there is a 2k here. And there's some type of parabola right here. Is that okay? And then that's going to be integration between 0 to 2k, right? Top part of the graph is this part, which is 0 minus x squared minus 2kx, right? Dx, and is equal to 36. They say this equal to 36. So this, what are you going to set up in FRQ? If you did this, you get 1 point on FRQ. If you find an R, great. If you find a K, that's great. But that's going to give you integration between 0 to 2k negative x squared plus 2kx dx equal to 36. Now that's going to be negative x cubed over 3 minus 2kx squared over 2. And that's because 2k and 0, that's equal to 36. Do you guys understand so far? I do the 0 because this is top part of the graph. This is the bottom part of the graph. So I do 0 minus top minus bottom.
Why did you put minus? It's
Cool.
supposed to be plus.
That is positive. Yeah, you're right. Good. Good eye. Eyes. Eye for me. Eyes for you. So now I'm gonna plug in 2k, so it'll be negative 8k to the 3 over 3 plus 2k. That is gonna be 4k to the 3, I believe, is equal to 36. Now, if this is like terms, so that's gonna be 4k to the 3 over 3 equal to 36. 4k to the 3 equal to 108. K to the 3 equal to 27. K is equal to 3.
Oh yeah, never mind. Never mind.
Wait, how do you get 8
I plug in 2k into x to the cube.
Oh,
Oh, wait, you're not talking.
It's just algebra. I know this one's a level 5 student. If you can get this one, you should get level 5. You should get a 5. Good job, Vincent. Anybody else get it? Avidash, you get it?
Now I get it.
Maybe now you can get a 5.
Yeah.
No, you get like 4.5.
Dang it. I
4.4.
can't believe they invented a new score specifically for me.
4.4.
Did you post yourself on something?
Wait, what did it
I mean, I got the step here.
Wait,
I got the negative. I got negative.
where did the -8?
Huh?
I got -3. My one mistake was that I didn't do top minus bottom.
You know where
Oh yeah, I think I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't bother to correct you because
Oh, you need the point for it?
yes, value means YU. You had to plug it back in. So people got natural log 2 is wrong because value. Look, write it down. Value. What?
Negative.
YU. Joel, YU for you.
Mr. Yang, could you go back for a
Reality.
second? Where did the -8k cubed go?
Huh?
The -8k cubed.
Well, -8k cubed plus 4k cubed. That means I need to multiply this by 3/3. So that's going to be 12k cubed 3. So 12k cubed subtract 8k cubed is equal to 4k cubed
I got
over 3.
Ethan's an interesting guy. I'll tell you that.
I got the
Now this is all slope. Yeah. Now we have to plug this back into here. Yeah. And then solve for where that's like
I'm gonna have to see number 11 first.
Now I get it.
Now, so for 11, hopefully you got D rather than A because they say value. They do not say where does the minimum occur. They say value. So you got to be able to do that. Bob, are you doing math or are you doing something else?
Oh, it's okay.
Euler's method? Like, they teach you like 3 times. Daniel teach you like 3 times.
All at the same time.
Well, I remember somebody had this conspiracy theory last year. Was it you? I think it's you. You say like the China trying to ruin like America.
that was me.
Yeah.
Mr. Yang, I put C. I don't know if I was getting more of, but
I can get C.
why won't I get C?
Look at the slope here. It's gonna be negative between those 2 points. It's because the mean value
For a
theory.
different question. For a different question.
For this one? For this one, see?
No, for 12.
Yeah, it's a mean value theorem. It's basically saying this, and you want to figure out slope here. There's some type of slope is equal to that. So it's going to be -1/5. So if you want to make first statement true, if it's prime, that's true because you do have a 0 slope here. You can make that true. So by putting a prime here, this can be a true statement. It's never undefined because they're differentiable. It's not 1/5 because it's actually going down. So it's -1/5. It's not -5 because it goes down too much. But you can take the slope with those 2 points. You should find out it's -1/5. It's a mean value theorem. So it's FB minus F of A over B minus A equal to F prime of C.
Thank you, Chris. I don't know if I put more on accidentally, but
And that's only if a function is differentiable and continuous. If they say differentiable, automatic means continuous. If they say continuous, does not mean it's differentiable. I'm going to say that again. If he says continuous, does not mean it's differentiable. That means mean value theorem does not apply. So you can get some type of answer says mean value theorem does not apply here because it's only continuous, not differentiable. That could be one of the answer. Depends on the questions.
Will
Yep,
they always
yep.
use C?
Huh?
Like if they're doing a mean value theorem, will they always use C?
They will always ask you to calculate f prime of c, which is you have to calculate slope at the endpoint. Which is you do that on the last exam 3 on question 19. You have to find out the slope at the endpoint.
But like with this one, like is since it's like a work problem, like since they had C, is that always like mean value theorem? It's a weird question.
No, it's you have to understand it's implying either mean value theorem or Rolle's value theorem because it's continuous differentiable. If we talk about C, then could be its mean value theorem or Rolle's value theorem.
Okay.
Rolle's value theorem is when f prime c is equal to 0. It could be true if the A is f prime of c is equal to 0.
Yeah. Okay.
13, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Chain rule.
King roll.
Chain rule.
King roll.
Low D, high D, low, too much, not a lot of work. And just plug in.
Now
15.
you have chlorine.
You have to know trapezoid rule. You have to know left Riemann sum, right Riemann sum, midpoints. He could have asked you any of those questions. But anyway, yeah, this is just area under the curve. That's the integral. Question 16. Reiterate. Does anybody want me to go over that one? All right, fine. The volume expand and spin. The volume, so dV dt is equal to 12 feet cubed per second. Oh, realize the SAT questions now. Shh. SAT question now is really emphasized on density. I don't know why, but I think it's good because I'm a chemistry major. I like density.
What?
Yeah, he told us this.
Oh, that.
You don't remember the Mr. Ye, the Donald Ye lore?
So was that just?
I'm glad I'm not a chemist. I'm not a pharmacist because I probably killed somebody.
Mr. Ye, Mr. Ye, your middle name's John?
Yes, I was named after Trump.
Donald John Ye.
That's really fun.
Your parents give you an English
Wait, Ethan, how did you?
Yeah, because my mom really liked Donald Trump. So he named my first name Donald, my middle name is John. And I hate Donald. I hate Trump.
Mr. Ye, so
She's up.
He is up.
Mr. Ye, when are you gonna tell us how you lost your eye?
All right, next question. When the volume of sphere is 36 pi, what's the surface area increasing? So they're looking for dA dt, which is dSA dt, which is question mark. So the problem is you have to find V equal to 4 pi r squared 3. dV dt is equal to 4 pi r squared dr dt. But they say dV dt is 12. Is equal to, oh, they say volume is 36 pi. So I'm gonna go 36 pi is equal to 4 pi r squared over 3, right? Pi cancel out. So this is cube. So this is 108 equal to 4r to the cube. R to the cube is equal to 27, R is equal to 3. But they also say dV dt is 12. So 12 equal to 4 pi, and this is 3 squared dr dt. And then it's gonna give you divided by 4, divided by 3. So that is equal to 12. What is 12 cubic feet, right? It's 12 divided by what? 36 pi?
Yeah.
dr dt? It's a 1 over 3 pi dr dt. This is really gross. S equal to 4 pi r squared. ds dt is equal to 8 pi r dr dt. 8 pi times 3, I think. And dr dt is 1 over 3 pi. Wow, it's beautiful. It's 8?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's nice.
So wait, Mr. Ed,
Mr. A is legitimately surprised that it's not like some ugly answer.
Even if it's from like
when we're solving
like
for
right at the bottom, but I think it counts for.
we're gonna solve for R, DR, we already had.
I wasn't sure. It sounded familiar, but I don't now.
We did, we solved for DSCT.
Mr. A, do you like Metallica?
Do I like what?
Do you like Metallica?
No.
Mr. Ed, so
I
we
can't believe we have a real life
say
noodle incident in the
DVDT is
form.
equal to
I like 9-inch nail. I'm just kidding. What'd you say?
We
Noodle
can't,
incident,
we
like the
can't
thing
set
with Calvin Hobbes,
DVDT
where
equal
like they
to
just
S
constantly
because of
bring it up,
DRDT, right?
but they're like,
I cannot hear what you say. Can you say it out loud again?
We can't set DVDT equal to S because of DRDT.
Yeah, you have to find out what DRDT is first.
So that's why they differ. You can't use S instead.
This is 3. This is not S. This is 3.
No. Like I did DVDT is equal to S. Well, you can't do that because you need DRDT, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You actually need a DRDT to evaluate, so I don't think you can jump a hoop. And this is probably one of the hardest question that you can find on related rate on sphere. Because
you have to go like back and forth.
yeah, you had to start extracting one information after another one after another one.
I thought I was doing it wrong, and then I found out it was like a clean answer, and I was like, oh, I did it right.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
If I ever bring my guitar to school again.
Yes.
Okay, so 16. Hopefully you understand. Anybody need me to go over anything? You just have to find one information at a time. It's like the math is always like this. You find one information and you find another. I don't know how to do this question. I never done this question. I never done this question. This is the first time.
It's just that good.
No, it just I do a lot of questions. I just don't do this kind of questions.
It's a really long time. Usually 30 seconds.
I got E here. Do you need to go over this one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can I substitute this F with G,
Yeah.
which is 15 minus G of X?
Yes.
Can I do G of X minus G of X equal to 2G of X?
Yes.
Can I do integration of -2 to 2 of 15? Can I split up?
Yes, because then you can change the 15 into 60 and then do the negative.
And this is equal to 60. Why is that equal to 60? Because from -2 to 2 is 4. The height is 15. It's a rectangle. Because that's the area of 15 between -2 to 2. So this is a 4. 15 is 15 right here. So that is equal to 60. That's integration of 15 between -2 to 2. So visually, it's actually better to understand that this rectangle, I think, is much easier to understand. That just means 4 times 15 is 60. And then you can take the 2 out in the front, so the answer is E. Boom. Too easy. Move on.
Too easy.
18. Take a derivative before you take definite integral. So take a derivative first and do definite integral. That's not too bad. I'm not going to go over this one. 19 is a great question. I think Chase was reading this question. He was kind of confused. Okay, but here's the thing. Rate of change. This rate of change means derivative. Derivative velocity, that means this question is actually A of t. They write down R of t to confuse you, but it's actually A of t. But if you plug in, let's say if you plug in 0, you're going to get -√3. So that means acceleration is negative. But they say velocity is positive. So that means you're speeding up or slowing down. Slowing down because they are opposite to each other. But they also say velocity is positive. That means velocity is positive means they're going right or left. Number 20, we stop by last period at here. 20 is this question is weird, but owning A is true. Owning A is true statement. Now, I cannot think of anything about 2 and 3, but this just means if your first derivative is differentiable, does not mean your second derivative is differentiable. So true, it does not mean true. The first, they say f of x is differentiable. That means f of x is differentiable. You can take a derivative of that. but doesn't mean the second derivative is going to hold true the whole way. Okay, so 2 and 3 is not true because it only told you first derivative is differentiable, not telling you second derivative is differentiable. It didn't say twice differentiable functions. It says f of x is differentiable. If they say twice differentiable, that means you can take it twice.
So we
So-
can't assume this.
You cannot assume that. And unfortunately, but I cannot think of an equation that it had to have some. I don't know. This question is too hard for most of you guys, but I want to see if anybody got it.
Is it E?
Huh?
Is E?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
It's.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it is E.
It's E. The work is over there. It's right in the front.
The
Oh, that's for BC. Yeah, so the work is right there in the front over there. Is square root 3 over 4 integration 12 -3 to 3 of root 9 minus x squared 2 squared dx. Why is 2? Because you have a circle, you have a top, and you have a bottom.
Oh, the
This
2
one's
is
square root 9 minus x
squared.
squared. This is 9
Yeah, I
minus
did
x
too.
squared.
Yeah, we can take it.
It's on your test.
Yeah, this one.
Needs to be in the interval.
I don't know what's question 22. Okay, this just means 2. That's the initial
Yeah,
condition, so that's equal to 4 for 2. The answer is
It is B.
B?
Yeah.
Okay, B. I would choose B. Arc sine. This one just algebra. So if we take it as u prime over square root 1 minus u squared. So 3 over 4, right?
Isn't it just derivative of 3x?
What?
Isn't it just 3? Why is
Zero
there-
over 4 because it's 3 over 4 x.
But isn't 4a?
So the whole thing is u.
U over A, right?
Yeah, it's u over a.
3x is U, 4 is A.
So it should just be 3.
No, we're taking derivative. We're not taking integral. Derivative of
what?
arc
Wait,
I'm saying take derivative.
no, that. Wait.
sine of x, sine
Yeah,
of
no,
u.
that's not.
U is
So arc sine
U
is
is
Oh,
3.
It's just
arc
3.
sine
A
u over a.
is 4.
It's just 3
Yeah,
up
it's
top.
just 3 on the top. Because arc sine is arc sine u over a.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Arc sine
Yeah,
u.
so u prime, so u is 3x.
Then how do any of these answers make any sense? Oh no, wait, no, never mind. I'm stupid.
I think I got it right, but completely wrong.
Yeah. I
What the
I would have gotten it right if I didn't make it negative.
I would've
But
got
I
it.
also got it right for the completely incorrect reason, I guess.
Oh, I got it right.
Wait, what's the
Yeah, it was. That's interval. Interval is your.
Oh, it's interval.
Eh?
Oh, I still got it.
You got it right?
I still got it.
Me too.
I almost
Yeah.
got it right.
Case. I should not. Case, I did too, but. That seemed
I
like
can't
you-
tell if it's
thought you were-
exactly.
I thought you were.
Well,
So if you do, you.
was it?
Do both ways work?
No.
I don't know.
That's
It
it.
might just work in that one scenario.
It's A arc sine U. But yeah.
Did we just get long?
Pretty good. It's A arc sine U.
I can't tell if we just got lucky or if it works both ways.
It's derivative is 1 over root 1 minus.
Wait, how do you put it? So it-
All right, 24.
So anyway,
24 says a graph function above has horizontal asymptote at y equal to 3 and y equal to -5. I love this question. I love this question. And So horizontal asymptote, the definition is x approach infinity of f of x equal to L, and limit x approach negative f of x is equal to L. So there's some type of L here. So if limit x approach infinity, let's say if you have limit x approach infinity of a e to the x plus b over e to the x plus 1, and is equal to 3, so what a has to be? A has to be 3 because it's take it I'll have to rule. If you take a derivative of that, it's going to be a e to the x over e to the x. E to the x will cancel out. It will give you a equal to 3. So a is equal to 3. So that is the first thing. If you limit x approach negative infinity of a e to the x plus b over e to the x plus 1, if you reach negative infinity here, that will go to what? E to the negative infinity is what? 0. Good. So if this part is 0, this part is 0, so that's going to be b over 1. And b over 1 is negative 5, so b must be negative 5. So a plus b is equal to negative 2. C. Very good question. Yes.
For the MCQ questions, do we have to write down like the limit stuff? You have to show what for that.
You don't, but you should try to do the work. That's why I'm upset at your homework, because you don't write down anything. You just write down the answer. That's why I'm upset, because if you don't have logic, you're basically, for me, you're just guessing your answers. If you don't show me a work, that means you don't truly understand. If you got lucky, doesn't mean you got it right. That doesn't mean you're gonna get lucky over at AP exam. I love this question. They say slope is dy dx. We cannot get it. I'm gonna go talk about 26. Do you guys get 26?
Yeah.
It's derivative of tangent of 2x, which is secant square of 2x.
2 secant
times
squared
2.
2x.
I'm gonna continue to talk about this. You guys more welcome to stay, but I'm gonna try to go as far as I can. You guys can go back to watch a video if you want to.
Say I can explain one to you.
Integration of sine of x over 2. Sine of x over 2 is equal to 0. That means x over 2 is equal to, when sine equals equal to 0, 0 is equal to pi. X equal to 2 pi. Simon!
No. Oh. No way.
Can I come in here during 6 and 7?
Can you go over the one you speak over?
Right? What is that?
The 25?
Square root of x.
Hey, right now it doesn't seem like you'll pass. If I were you, I'll see you after school.
Down here, you can make this two squares. So then you have on top, you have root b plus root x. Root x.
This one I have to use substitution.
Yeah,
Okay. It equals. So multiply that. Okay.
Pi 0. And integration with sine of u is what?
Over
Cosine u, negative,
Negative cosine.
b.
between pi to 0.
Don't you need to pull the 2 out? So just 2 du.
2 du dx.
Yeah, isn't it bound from
2, this is 2 here.
Yeah.
So this is 2, thank you. So negative 2 times cosine of pi minus cosine of 0. Cosine of pi is what? Negative 1 minus 1, negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to 4. Wait, see? 27C.
Should the
Yeah.
Costco
I forgot to
incident
change
be
my
the
mouse.
first
I
ever
always
video I
forget to change
upload to
my
YouTube?
You have to.
I'm gonna upload it. Wait, first I need to download it to my phone, and then I need to upload.
Okay, I'm gonna continue scoring. 28. I love this question. I love with a
Oh,
passion.
I know how to do these ones.
You know how to do this one. Finally, you know how to do this one.
I think so.
Okay, so
Wait,
it's gonna be 2.
FTC for the win.
can I try to do it, Mr. A?
Sure.
Is it just like diversion?
Well, I'm
Is it
actually
integration?
I didn't read the English.
Two,
I'll see you.
Bye.
integration 2, 4 equals f of 4 minus 2. Which,
No, it was. So this is a f prime of x.
yeah. F of 4 minus f of 2, yeah. And then you just take the area here, so it's 2, 5. It's 5. 5 equals negative 3 minus f of 2. No. Yeah. 5 equals f of 4
I mean, I can just
plus
text it to
3.
you. Yeah.
And then you subtract 3 from both sides.
Like, what should I call it? Costco.
Yay! Mr. A,
I'll see you later.
I kind of know what I'm doing. A little bit.
Kind of.
Every time
Kind of.
And you go over the one you skimmed over. It was the hooks. Like the weird. Yeah. It is on the sea hooks. You integrate it? Always this thing.
Let me see if I did. Let me see if I start on the right beat.
Oh, I think this one's hyperbole. Oh,
So this one's natural log of y, right? Natural log of x, right?
Yeah.
2, right?
Yeah.
Plus c, right? E to the both sides, so e to the ln of y equal to e to the 2 ln of x plus c. This 2 is going to be up here. So e to the ln of x squared, and this is c, this is y. Y equal to cx squared. It's a problem. Because you take the integration. Okay, the graph above shows f of x, which you found is the greatest value. 0 to 1 is some positive, 0 to 2 some type of positive. 0 to 3 is going to take it off. 0 to 4 is going to take off more. 0 to 5 is going to be the lowest value. So B is the answer. Hi, Melissa. Okay, I'm continuous going over the exam 4. So I'm just making a video. So for which balance B is the greatest? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so I would take a derivative of this, which is a 4t to the 3 minus 30t plus 58t minus 36. And I will check the lowest point and the highest point. If it's lower than lower, I don't know. What is the value of that? I will graph this function, right? Whoever, and I will look at the absolute value of this graph, actually. I will actually graph the absolute value of this. And I will check which one has the highest. And that's probably the things I would do. So it'd be 3.69. So it's roughly 4. Yeah. So I will graph the absolute value of this. Is that okay? You guys good, Omar?
Oh, yes, sir.
30? Analyzing graph, my favorite of all time, because you don't have to do math.
That's facts.
Huh?
That's facts.
What's
I'll
your
only
answer?
graph ones.
What's your answer?
Oh, for the.
No, look at it. Look at it.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Oh, you cannot see? Wait, how come?
You have an image.
What?
You like screenshot it.
Oh, I went over. Oh, I went over this one.
Oh, I thought you were filming a video or something.
I'm filming a video.
Oh, okay.
So, wait, what's the last one I did? Oh, I did this one. Okay. So 25, I did, because slope means dy dx. So I do dy dx equal to 2y over x. And I move around to get dy over y 2x over dx. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I integrate both sides, it'll be ln y to ln of x. Remember that 2 can move to the top. So then it'll be e to the ln x squared plus c, but c is in the front, so it becomes cx squared. So this is actually a parabola. It's kind of challenging questions.
That is cool.
It's kind of challenging question, huh?
Like moving the 2 up is like the tricky part.
Yeah, that 2 is kind of tricky because you cannot cancel the e with the 2 in the front.
True.
You can only cancel if the 2 is moved out of the way, and you can eat both sides. This one is gonna be, yeah, derivative equal. This is just finding derivative tangent of 2x, which is we talk about this very beginning of the year a lot.
Definition.
Yeah, and this is a work for 27. The work for 27 is a little bit more, but you have to find out where the x-intercept, just like the k problem. And if you work it out, guess what? You're gonna find out is equal to 2 pi. And then I'm gonna 0 to 2 pi, change the boundary. Remember, always do it in terms of u world. And du equal to half dx, 2 du equal to dx. This is how much work I show. Omar, you didn't show enough work. Like, this is why I say that you guys don't show enough work, because you guys have to show me those work. When I go around and I look, I see don't enough work. There's people who get a 5. Omar, if you want to get a 5, you got to show me something. Right? You got to show me. You cannot say, oh, I got. Anderson told me this. If you work with somebody, if you don't work with somebody, it's different. So this one I'm gonna do 2 du, and that's why there's 2 in the front. And you work it out, it's actually both negative. It actually work out perfectly. Answer is 4. Super cool answers.
Like, when you said sine of x over 2 is 0, like, how do you, like get the balance?
How do I get 2 pi on the top?
Yeah.
Okay, I said sine of x over 2 is equal to 0, because that's how you find x-intercept.
Yeah.
X over 2, that means sine, when sine equal to 0, it's only happen at a pi.
Oh.
And then you multiply both sides by 2, so it's x equal to 2 pi. So that's why you get 2 pi in the front. So this one is calculation. Omar, if you didn't get this one, I'm okay. But if you get it, great. That's extra bonus as icing on the top. Right? But analyzing graph, Omar, you gotta get all the analyzing graph right. Both Omars. No, he's worse at algebra. You're a little bit better. But he need to get all the analyzing part all right. Because you can get half of the calculation one, not 100%. I'd rather 100%, but you can get half right now. Like this, I think this is too much calculation for you. I don't know if you went all the way down.
I got stuck on getting 2 pi. I got pi instead of 2 pi for the balance, and I got mixed up.
Yeah, so that's why I say algebras. It's gonna be yeah. But if you got a non-algebra part correct, it's still gonna be so far better. This one's my favorite question. Hopefully you got this one right.
What?
Light work. Okay.
Whenever I get an XT question, I feel like I'm like Anthony.
I'm ready.
Who's up with that?
You're Anthony?
Who's up with that?
Bro's overreaching. That's what you guys called it.
You're the bros over
What is this?
Yeah, I got this the day before I left signing from school. Bro, I was out.
Okay, 28. Hopefully you guys got no question. This is my favorite question.
Me too, Mr.
This is a fundamental theorem in algebra. Oh, not calculus, not algebra. They're all fundamental theorem of algebra, but this fundamental theorem of calculus. I love this question. They can be written in the calculator question, which is last time. I think it's question 34 from the last packet. This is a good question. Great question.
Wait, is it S2?
S tier. It's like the highest tier.
S
Yeah.
plus.
S plus. All right, so this one is actually easy because if you find area between here, this is going to be like maybe +1. And 0 to 2 is going to be like maybe +2. But the problem is after that, you start taking away. You start taking away more. You start taking away more. So this is going to be the highest one.
Like,
I thought like it'll cancel out and there'll be a surplus. 0 to 5 is the biggest one.
But it's negative.
It's more negative.
It's going to become more negative. Like, yeah. This one, just graph the absolute value of the derivative and you look it for the highest point because they say speed is greatest.
Speed is absolute value of velocity.
Yes.
So that we have to take derivative.
Speed is always.
Because
Yes.
velocity is-
Yes. Yes.
I'm getting nervous.
Yes. Do you know how to use calculator to do that though? That's the thing. Do you know what's the absolute value button in your calculator? That's another thing.
It's in the book thing.
What's the book thing? Yeah, it's in the catalog. Okay. What do you guys think about this one? 31.
It was also like.
What is it though?
Isn't it? Well, it has to have like a reflection at
All positive.
tier.
It's gonna be B, not A, because look at this. Oh,
It
not
can't
B, not B,
it can't
B,
be.
B, B, because
It can't be A.
the slope is always positive, so it has to be increasing.
It has to be D or E.
It's
It
E.
has to have point of inflection. Like it.
Because you have to think of how much it's going. Because the highest point is there,
Oh,
you have to think of because it's very shallow here. So that's why it's not D.
Wait, what is
If it was D, it would be like flipped over. It would be like this.
Oh, that's F prime? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually they give you
Because
that.
the limits are 0, like it goes like
Okay.
Wait, explain that one more time.
so because this is close to 0. These are close to 0.
Yeah.
These things will be close to flat. So the sharpest point is at there. So
That's where it's gonna have the most slope. Okay.
yeah, it's always going to be increasing, but it's not going to be increasing by much except for this area.
Oh, we're solving for F. Okay.
So D is like kind of like the opposite.
Now for me, I don't do it that way.
Okay.
I do it more safe way, which is the f prime of x is above, right? So it's always positive because this above x-axis
I
or
also-
below x-axis, so this is positive, so it means increasing. F double prime means you go up because you take a derivative of that, so you look at increasing and decreasing. So this is up, this is down. This is the inflection point. So this is the only one has inflection point, concave up, concave down. But the other one is all concave up. This is concave down. This
That
is
one's like
concave down,
concave
concave
up, concave
up. But the problem is this is not always increasing. So this is decreasing, increasing. This one's always increasing. This one's always increasing. This is concave down, concave up. So it's opposite. So the only right choice is E. For me, number line is the best way to analyze everything. Number line f prime x. How do I tell f prime x? Well, I look at are they above x-axis or below x-axis. They above is positive, so therefore it's positive the whole way. So it's always increasing. So I can eliminate all the choice by I can eliminate choice A, I can eliminate choice B, I can eliminate C, and only down to E and D and E. Then D and E just look at the concavity because you look at the slope of that. So both Omar, you had to get this question.
Yeah.
And you already said light work, but you got a wrong answer. So you cannot just look at it. Do the work. Show the work. Show everything that you're gonna get it.
Write stuff down.
Yeah, write shit down. I'm on live stream.
Well, that's.
Huh?
No, it's funny. So.
There's a
Thank you
other
for the
way to work.
clarification, Mr. Gay.
What?
Like,
Is the other way not reliable though? So like okay.
I mean, it's reliable maybe for Ethan, but it's not reliable for everybody else. So it's relevant, right? It's relevant to students because some people have very good intuition. Ethan, I would trust him. I won't even trust him 100% of the time, but I'll trust about 80% of the time. But you, I probably trust like 55% of the time. So then I'll rather you trust you 80%. I'd rather trust you 100% of the time if you do the work because the problem with this question is so easy, everybody overlook it. And it's worth 1 point. Some hard question like the KX problem is worth 1 point. Which problem you rather get right? This one.
Yeah.
That one I can throw away any day.
Because it's not like anyone knows what points you got when they look at your AP score.
Yeah, for the way you study for SAT. If you ever wonder how to study SAT, the last 3 questions, you go to Blue Book. Okay, so Rajesh, we talk about Rajesh. The last 3 questions, there's no way you can go through it. There's no freaking way. Right, last 3 questions on the Blue Book 4, so hard. The second to the last problem is 2 cubes stacked on top of each other. I don't know if you remember that question. Okay, because we went over it. Yeah, 2 cubes stacked on top of each other. It takes me 5-6 minutes to actually figure out. Anthony takes a little bit shorter time. He takes about 4 minutes to 5 minutes, but it takes me a long time to think about because I'm not good at reading, and it takes me a lot longer to read.
What's the question asking?
You gotta look at the Blue Book 4. The Blue Book 4 is so hard that I ran out of time by like 5 minutes because the last question take me another 5 minutes to solve. So
I couldn't solve. I would just guess.
yeah.
What is this?
Which you might as well, because there's no penalty.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so those questions just rely on guessing.
That's what I'm saying. I have my intuition.
But 700 is very low.
Yeah, well, the intuition didn't cook. Oh my god.
I told you it was hard. It's I ran out of time. I ran out of time on all 4 Blue Book, but that one's the worst. All other one I finished on like 15 seconds left. I was like, damn, this is hard.
So like module 1, I finished for like 12 minutes left. I was like, what am I doing? And then I go to module 2, then I like sweat.
Yeah, so you can skip that. Just after module 1, you skip that. 32. I have no idea what's question 32. Let's read it. F be differentiable. F3 is -6. F prime of 3 is 4. The function defined for g of x equal to 4x plus f of x over x for all x. Which following could be an equation or a line of tangent at point 3? Okay, let's take a derivative of that. Well, hold on a second. What is 2 function? But they want an equation tangent line. Could be equation tangent line of the graph G. Okay, so I have to take a derivative of that.
Yeah, you take a derivative of G.
Low D high minus high D low over low. And then I am gonna plug in 3. G prime of 3 is equal to 4 plus 3 times f prime of 3 is 4, I think.
Yeah.
Minus f of 3 is -6 over 36 is equal to 4 plus 12 plus 6 is 18 over 36. So 4.5 g prime of 3. And then is but do I know g though? Hold on a second. Oh, I can here plug in g of 3 as well. G of 3 is equal to 4 times 3 plus f of 3 over 3. This is a really cool problem. 12 plus f of 3 is -6 over 3. So -2, so it's 10. Wow, this is a hard problem. I mean, not our problem for equation tangent line.
No, yes, it should be over 9.
Which one over 9?
Instead of 30.
You put it over f of 3 when you're supposed to put it over 3 because you're doing it over x.
Man, what the hell?
Wait, where?
I was gonna say I don't know why you have 4.5.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I can multiply.
Because that's not
So
even
that's
in any of
9?
the answers.
9. So that's gonna give you 6. Yeah, 4 plus 2 is equal to 6.
You were
6
staring
times
at me.
x
Three
minus
times
3.
is 9. Because you're plugging in x for
Oh, I'm gonna do x squared.
I plug in 6 for some weird reason, but yeah.
Yo, tangent is that.
Tangent line's S tier, but this question's like a lot of arithmetic. Did you get it right?
So, first time I did, I didn't get it right, then I got it right second.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously that I would have got it wrong too because I didn't plug in right number. But yeah, the work is fine, but it's just when I plug in, I just have to be cautious. So for you, like I say, it's 50% of the time, like on calculations. But calculation, you have to increase to around 80%. Now, for a level 5 student, I want them to go to even like 90%, right? So the more you push higher, the more things you get right. So you want to analyzing one all correctly, and you want this, you want to get like 70, 80%, then you should be safe. Okay. Now this one's gonna be hard for Omar because Omar will make Umar.
Omar and Omar.
Yeah, both of them, but I think you have higher ability in algebra than him. So, but you guys still can figure out a way to work out. I love 33, yes.
Why is it y minus 10?
Because you had to plug in, you had
You're
to
just plugging it in.
you had to plug in the 3. You had to find out what g of 3 is. Okay, I love this question. This is S tier for calculus section. S tier. I don't know the answer, but this is S tier. But in order to find the maximum, I must take a derivative of this, right?
Oh, fundamental theorem.
Yeah, it's fundamental theorem. So f prime t equal to d to the dt of 0 to t. So we're going to say this is a function g of t. And that's going to be big G of t and take derivative of that, which is g of 0, and that's going to be g of t. So that's just this function right here. So the idea, we just graph this. Does that make sense? We just graph that. Okay.
Wait, what did you grab? GFT and derivative?
Derivative t is 1. Okay, so g of 0 times 0, that's just going to be 0.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
go away. So just g of t. So you actually they can make a whole big thing. And the only thing you had to look over there. Why? Because they want you to take a derivative. And it's fundamental. Guess what? How many times we say fundamental theorem showing up? It's so many damn times. Like if you just know your fundamental theorem calculus, you should get a 3. You actually should get a 3 just by knowing fundamental theorem of calculus very well. Yes. Nope. I'm gonna show you what I graphed. I'm gonna graph it. So you guys have to tell me what a function is, okay? So I'm gonna switch screen. I don't know what a function is. Can you remember that it's a function?
Yeah.
Okay, so the function is gonna be, what is it?
E to the x cosine x times cosine x minus
E to the what?
x.
Oh, we can't see.
X, huh? What the? E to the what? Cosine of x?
Cosine x.
E to the cosine of x?
X cosine x.
X times cosine x.
X cosine of x?
Yep.
Wait, cosine of x is on the power or on the bottom? Power?
Yeah.
Like this?
I was scared to graph this, so I went into table mode. And the table mode itself was so slow. I'm so glad I did not try to graph that.
Huh?
Parentheses.
Parentheses?
Minus x on x.
Parentheses what?
Cosine x.
Cosine of x? Spell. Minus what? X sine of x? Minus? X sine of x?
Yep.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's how you
I don't know if this is a right graph. Hold on. Ex cosine of x, cosine of x minus x.
No. Bless you.
I don't know what you're talking about area.
Do they say which range is? They say 0 to 10. Okay, let's do 0 to 10.
Can you do negative 1 to 11?
Okay, negative 1 to 11. Okay, let's do negative 1 to 11. And let's maybe make it this bigger. Oh, that's not too big. Maybe like 50. Okay, so okay, so let's look at what they want. They want absolute maximum value.
It should be E.
No. It should be here. Okay, let's talk about why is that. So
Oh, is it negative? No,
Like where the
it's where the area is the greatest. That's small.
okay, so if you look at here, we just gonna color code this. The positive is gonna be this region, right? And negative is gonna be this region, but they're roughly the same. They probably be more negative than positive. But after that, look at this. Look at this. Everything here is gonna be positive. But after that is what? You take away from that. So that should make it a value lower. So guess what? The value is right here.
How do you know we're doing the interval? Like, where are the word formulas to say that?
They say it's 0. They say it's 0 to 10.
Oh.
Very great question. This is the probably best calculated question. Has the best knowledge. Has the best everything. It has phenomenal ideas. If I just do if I change that to maybe 0 to maybe negative, not too much negative, but negative 20 to positive 20, that will make it a little bit bigger. So you see that the first region of this area is some type of positive, right? Some type of positive here, some type is positive, some type of negative, but they kind of offset each other. Maybe more negative and positive.
Yeah.
But you see
But then
this
there's
is a big positive.
giant positive.
Yeah, there's a giant positive and this giant negative. That this one's gonna start taking away. So this is your maximum.
Mr. Yang?
Absolute maximum. Between 0 to 10. Yes.
Is it okay if I used the table feature to do it?
I think graph is the best way.
I was just using table because I felt like, well, okay. So I had typed in the whole thing, like including the integral and the dx. So then I just used the table.
No, table is probably the worst choice that you can do. However, what you can do is this though. You can do the integral. You can do an integral on a graph. So it'd be second trace, and just do 0 to 6.48, and they'll actually give you a value. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way. But do not ever graph like integrals or using table.
Oh yeah, no, I
Table you can do is ask. Change it independent to ask.
yeah, that's what You mean the dependent?
Depend.
Because the independent is the y output.
No, depend is y. Independent.
I thought you said
is X.
independent. Or sorry, yeah. You're right.
Mystery. Can you have question
8, huh? 18, sure.
I'm done thinking about it.
18, just take a derivative and take a definite integral. Oh no, you gotta do it again. Take a derivative is gonna be 6t plus 2. And then do integration of 6t, which is 3t squared.
plus 2t.
Yeah, plus 2t, between 4 to 2. And do your math. I don't know. Cannot tell you what wrong with that. I cannot fix those simple one. You gotta fix your own. In that particular case. 34. Particle velocity. How far does the particle travel through time interval? From 2 to 4. How far is a distance, right? How far? It's not a displacement. How far?
Why the change in the door? No one wants to.
So yeah, I think I figured out Euler's method.
After like what?
Euler's method is so simple.
It's an equation tangent line twice. Or 4 times.
So slow. I got it now. Figured it out.
You know what you need?
What about you?
You need a girlfriend
Fine.
that can control you. That who's gonna be boss of you.
My last
All right, we are live streaming.
You're the one.
We are live streaming. We are live streaming.
You're the one.
We
who
are
brought it
live
up.
streaming.
I didn't even bring it up.
We are live streaming.
You're the one who brought it up.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I did. I apologize. My fault. My fault. I'm sorry.
Mr. Yates, is this okay in the door?
You know, admin's been kind of pain in the butt. Every time admin come in, they just like kind of close it all the time. So they're being like,
They're making you lock the door.
sort of. Who?
Miss Cooper.
Who's Miss Cooper?
Mr. Cooper.
Oh, Mr. Cooper. Oh, I can tape that thing. But again, like they give me a hard time.
Give every student a copy of your key.
I don't ever lock my door. I mean, oh yeah, I do lock my door.
Do you keep your doors locked after school? Are they lunch restricted?
Yeah, after school it's fine.
And teacher said if I skip, like, ever again, he's gonna give me a referral. Skipping, like, right now. Cause he's not there.
Oh. I don't know what to do with you, but whatever.
Fine.
You do you.
30 more days to skip.
Or let the time be faster.
Like a month for the school.
Pray the Lord. Right?
Students should now be back A lunch.
I don't know. I do everything weird. Sorry. The trick is not sitting next to the door. If you sit next to the door, you're gonna have to keep on open the door. Yeah. What's up, Yuli? Guy?
Say the same thing. Say what's up.
But this is only like
You actually like pray.
no, I don't pray. Oh, I pray for my religion. I don't pray for Jesus, but I pray for my own religion.
Is your religion like? Maybe I don't know if I should ask or not. Like,
You sure? You can ask.
is your religion God or?
No,
What's your religion?
I'm a Buddhist. So, but yeah, that's that.
No, because you keep on like your view of me praying is, or I guess not me, but in general,
Really do though. Like, why do you do all that extra stuff?
Me?
Yes.
Theatrics is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just I don't know. I'm just being stupid sometimes. Don't get offended at anything I say though. I say a lot of things. So same thing's rebuff. This kid.
No, take offense to anything I say. That's what I mean by
You're live streaming.
listening. My name is
Life's too short not to laugh.
Some things you don't joke on.
I joke on everything. I don't really care. I'm too old. I'm only almost half century old. So I don't care. People want to cancel me, they can. Yeah, almost 50.
You're almost 50.
I'm 45.
But it's not almost.
It's almost, you round it up. You round it up. 44 you can round down, right? 45 is like round up.
It's not almost. It's just
Like 40, 45 you round up, so it's 50.
Yeah, but you can just barely.
Yeah.
You don't round up your age to like the nearest.
My dad is also almost 50. No, like
Yeah, Ned, damn, see, I'm just as old as your dad.
he's older.
Huh?
He's older.
How much is old?
Well, I know he's he was born in 1978.
Oh, he's older by 1 year old.
I don't
Man,
know.
he have
I
you.
don't count. I just know his year because old.
He have you young, right? He have you what, 20? What? He have you about 28, 27?
28. 28.
Oh, that's not young.
That's not. But I still think, well, my mom got me when she was 27.
Mhm.
I think it's young. For a kid. I want to be a mom.
Huh?
I want to be a mom.
Okay. Maybe not. Not for a while, at least. How far does a particle travel during time when velocity increasing from 2 to 4? Ooh, that's interesting. Velocity increasing from 2 to 4. So it'll be 2e to the 2t equal to 2. So e to the 2t is equal to 1. 2t is equal to natural log of 1. T is equal to 0. 2e to the 2t equal to 4. So e to the 2t is equal to 2. Natural log of 2 divided by 2 equal to t. So integration between half natural log of 2, 0. I will probably do this. 2t dt. And that's, I don't know, whatever is that. I can use integration of this. So the answer is A. I guess I don't need to use calculator. I don't use calculator to figure this out. But yeah, you can use calculator if you want to. But you definitely don't need it. It's just a lot more work. But you can use calculator, so why not? This question is great. You're gonna graph this functions. Whatever this function come out, whatever how do they cross the x-axis like this is gonna be the maximum, this is a minimum because you are f prime of x. I don't know how many answers that, I have no idea, but the answer is obviously C, 2. So it's probably have something like this 2 times. So this is gonna be max, this is max, this is not it. So wait a second. Why it's not moving? It's not moving again. Y. Okay, so yeah, this is a work for this one. This is a work for this one. So you graph it. I don't know what a graph look like, but I'm assuming graph look like this. There was probably two. This one is gonna be the minimum. This one's actually inflection point, so IP here. So if you ask you how many inflection point, you can see how many inflection point. This one really just analyzing the graph. Again, you don't need to do too much work. You just need to figure out where is the inflection point is and where's maximum, where's minimum. So you have to be able to do all things. So this question is using calculate between 0 to 12. So in this case, there's 2. They can ask you where as well. So again, there's so many questions on fundamental theorem calculus, so I don't have time to go through them all because I'm hungry. But yeah, I'm gonna go to some question that's more important. I would say probably this one. Again, they say slope. That means you have to take a derivative. D to the dx f prime of x, right? Of 0x, we're gonna say f of t is, no, I would say g of t is equal to arc sine of t. So that's gonna be g of t dt. Take a derivative, d to dx. I don't know how many times you see me doing this. That's gonna be big G of x minus big G of 0. And then f prime of x. Now, if I take a derivative, this is equal to g of x, f prime of x. So basically, just arc sine of t is arc sine of x. And just plug in arc sine of 4 because they want a 0.4. They want a slope. Slope means take a derivative. So arc sine of 4, you should get one of the answer. I have no idea what is that. But yeah, this is a great question. All the fundamental theorem question is all lovely. So at this case, C. I think there was like 3 questions in a row. Fundamental theorem calculus 39. It's also fundamental theorem calculus.
No, hold on. I'm like cooking, but
Yeah, but you're leaving a line on there.
it's like more vitamin D, right? What do you get from oranges? Vitamin D. D. Let's see what's.
D is milk.
Do you sun, right?
Sun and milk, right?
He's like scurvy. Let's eat oranges.
Okay.
Why is that favorite?
Again, fundamental theorem of again, G prime of x, d to the dx of 3 to the x of g of t. No, actually, I'm going to say f of t this time. I'm going to say different. dt. And it's going to be big f of x minus big f of 3. Again, d to the dx here, that's going to be f of x times 1 minus f of 3 times 0. Cross it out. G prime of x. So again, you just graph this function. Check. Are they positive between 3 to 5? Are they positive between 5 to 7? G of 7 is less than 0. That part I don't think you would know. So the answer is A. So again, you do the same thing. Almost 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 question is about analyzing, and the 4 question are about fundamental theorem of calculus. So if you just understand those questions, it should be fine. You are doing great, but you have to make sure you understand those questions I told you to understand. That make sure you understand this really well. Yeah, and I'm gonna stop here because I'm hungry.